Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Because this is a proud damn state.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
You can actually feel Razorback Stadium shaking underneath our feet right now.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Stick this one in the electrical socket, folks. The Razorbacks have shocked the world. Arkansas defeats UConn.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on, it's almost halftime.
Well, welcome into a Tuesday edition of Halftime. I am Smackdown. That is Matty T running the boards, and we are Elson free for the show, Matty T.
We're Phil-less.
We're Phil-less. We're not fulfilled today. I tried to make a joke there. I don't know how that turned over. Yeah, but no Phil Elson today. The power outages have struck Phil Elson today.
If it's not electricity, it's the internet.
It's the
It's
internet.
not one thing, it's another.
It's not one thing, it's another.
Excuses.
We'll be helping get Phil connected in here later on in the show, but up in Fayetteville where he is right now, he had power outages with those rolling outages that a lot of you probably listening right now are going to be dealing with for the rest of the day today and throughout the rest of our snowdemic. Is there like, we're in a pandemic right now, so what do we call the, like, snowdemic?
Snowmageddon.
Snowmageddon. That's good. Yeah, that's a good one. But there, so
Snowpocalypse,
and more coming. Have you seen the radar for what's coming tonight?
Yeah, I'm over it, dude.
8 to 10.
It was, and I saw your picture this morning on Facebook when you woke up, -6. By the time I got up to walk my dog, it was down to -8.
That's what I noticed. Yeah. Like this morning, like the phone was floating around -7, -8. I think, but I put the picture on my Twitter and Facebook and everything else. It was -6, but the feels like I think was -15, -16. But yeah, I know when I went and picked you up this morning, I think it had finally risen up to a nice and comfortable tropical
nice and balmy
1 degree. I mean, I'm 28 years old. I've seen it cold. I've never. Have you ever seen it this cold before?
Even when I've been in other states, like up in Connecticut and New York, I don't think it was -8. It was like 2 degrees, And
that's what we were talking about this morning. It's just like the difference in this cold versus like this same temperature in like Colorado where there's no humidity or the dryness of the air and everything. So nice and cold this morning, but yeah, if you're out there listening, make sure you stay attuned to the forecast because Mother Nature is packing another punch. So if you've been one of the few people or one of the many people, including myself, that you said you miss snow and you're ready to see some snow, you're getting your fill, especially with what came over the weekend and what's coming tomorrow. But that being said, we still have Razorback basketball tonight. That is going to tip off at 6 o'clock p.m. Nothing has been changed, and I doubt anything will be changed with that. That means tip-off will start at 6 o'clock p.m. Pre-game coverage here on ESPN Arkansas will begin at 5:30 p.m. with Chuck and Z and the boys over there, and they will be bringing it to you. And the game will also be broadcast nationwide on ESPN2. And we'll have a free preview. We'll have a full preview of that here coming up later on in the show. We're hopefully going to get Phil in. Regardless, we'll get Phil in one way or another. He'll either be joining us via the cellular phone at 12:30 p.m. or if he can get his internet back and working, we're working on some stuff behind the scenes to see if he might be able to go to the Ruskin and Zach studios to hop in and join us for the remainder of the show. But we'll get him in there. Nikki Chavanel from hogbeat.com will be joining us at 12:30 p.m. talking a lot of recruiting with her, including the new 4-star commitment that came over the weekend. Rashad Dubinion, if I hope I'm pronouncing his last name right, 4-star commit out of Georgia, said yes to the Razorbacks, said yes to Sam Pittman. We'll have her full takes on that as well as her takes on Gus Malzahn. And Maddie, she is also a big Houston Texans fan, and they let go of one of their longest reigning offensive and defensive linemen in J.J. Watt. So that's going to be fun to talk about. And with her as well, she's the next guest on Ty's Trusting the Process podcast. And I'm curious, like, does she just not have anything else going on? Does she just, like, relegating her time to Ty Richardson and his podcast? So, and I'm obviously kidding. It's a great podcast.
That's the hottest thing around.
It is the hottest thing happening right now. So make sure we'll have a lot of chat with her. Also, got a lot of fun stories that we're going to talking about in the second hour, including it is National Pancake Day, one of our favorite holidays, which that was one of our last meals that we've talked about this before on the show.
We've since been back to the International House of Pancakes.
International House of Pancakes. We've been
very cultured international.
Yes.
Pancake.
Absolutely. National Pancake Day, so we'll have a little fun chat with that. Also found this article. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, the Fox Sports football broadcast. Joe Buck, you've seen him on World Series, Super Bowls, you name it, he's been a part of it. There's a story going around that he was on the Colin Cowherd podcast. We've got some audio we're going to play later on in the show. Apparently, they occasionally drink cocktails during live sporting events in the TV booth.
Cool.
Maybe that's something we need to look into doing here.
It is a little cold. We could use like a hot toddy right now.
Right. I mean, and not like, and we'll touch more on that later, but just like not to get drunk or anything like that, but just to level off.
Loosen up a little bit.
Loosen up a little bit. Not like we're already, well, never mind. Anyway. And then also, one that I'm very pumped up to talk about, Bow Wow, the rapper.
Not Lil Bow Wow? Is he all grown
Wow.
up now?
Yeah, like the Mike Bow Wow. The one that tried to be Michael Jordan but failed.
He's Snoop Dogg's nephew, right?
Yes. I think everybody.
From what I understand.
Isn't everybody Snoop Dogg's nephew?
In one way or another.
In one way or another, you're related to Snoop Dogg. Bow Wow is apparently training to get into the WWE. To be a WWE wrestler.
To be in that organization.
Do what?
Everybody wants to be in that organization.
Me, myself included. I would love to do it. So apparently he's going to be doing that, and we'll have a lot more chit-chats with that coming up.
Are we going to have
a
full wrestling segment today since Phil's gone?
Yes, full wrestling segment.
Wow.
Because all the rules are taken off the table now that Phil's gone. So, but there again, if Phil jumps in here later on in the show once his internet gets working, I bet you that wrestling story is going to get axed real quick. So we'll have some fun with that. It's going to be a lot of fun today. Plus, we want your calls and text here today. It's 877-377-6963. If you want
to. Is today Fat Tuesday?
I think that's right.
Hacker and Harrison says pancakes are Fat Tuesday staple.
Huh. Interesting. I honestly, I'll have to do a quick Google search.
Every Tuesday's Fat Tuesday around here, am I right?
Yeah, it is Fat Tuesday. Interesting. So, which means that comes.
They need some like purple icing on them or something, like a king cake.
I was good. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. Two things. Is Mardi Gras next weekend?
I don't know.
Because I know Fat Tuesday leads into Mardi Gras or something another like that. But it's interesting to bring that up because I've seen like going to Walmart and buying all the essentials, like me and you were talking, we need to get some water, especially if we're fixing to get 6 to 8 more inches of snow here tonight. I've never had
allegedly Mardi Gras is Fat Tuesday.
Oh.
Is today Mardi Gras? How dumb are we?
Huh. Well, there's one person sitting back here in the studio. We'll ask Todd during this commercial break when Mardi Gras is because he's
a party animal.
He's a party. I mean, he's done it in St. Louis. Apparently,
that's the unofficial home for Mardi Gras, St. Louis.
St. Louis, Missouri. Yeah, it's not New Orleans, Louisiana, or anything like that. So we'll figure that out. But yeah, you bring up king cake. What is a king cake? Because I've seen
it's a cake with icing on it, and there's like a little plastic baby in it that you got to be careful not to accidentally eat.
Yeah. So it's
got some beads on it.
Okay.
Yeah. Just sweet cake. I would say kind of like cinnamon roll material bread with icing on it.
Interesting.
And sprinkles.
Huh. I'll have to give it a try. We got a lot of messages coming in here. Make sure you keep up texting them in. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. We are there live.
More Mardi Gras information. Mardi Gras is actually French for Fat Tuesday.
There you go. See, look at Hacker and Harrison. Man,
I actually took 2 years of French, and I didn't know that. I wasn't paying attention.
I never paid attention to anything I learned in foreign language classes. Jesse Gilliman on our Facebook page says, in case anyone missed it, Hogs are ranked in Kentucky is now 6-13. You got that right, and when we come back here after this next commercial break, we're fixing to get up on. We'll have a full preview of Arkansas versus Florida tonight. Austin Whiting, I hope I'm saying your last name right, on our Facebook page. Is the Hogs and Gators game still on for tonight with the snow in Arkansas? You're damn right. The game is still on. Matty, I think Florida made it in, or at least what Phil said yesterday, Florida made it into Fayetteville last night.
That was the main thing we were worried about.
Right, so Florida's here.
You told me yesterday, you said if they make it in, they're going to play.
We're going to get this
game in.
I don't know what's going to happen after the game because Mother Nature's fixing to dump 8 inches of snow on you here later on. So
you're saying we're not done with this yet?
We're not done at all. We just got to make it through Friday. Once you get to Friday, Saturday, then the temperatures go back to normal for Arkansas, about in the 40s, and then all this will go away, and then the sweatpants that we get to wear to work and the sweaters and the casualness of work.
And everything's back to the new normal.
Everything's back to the new normal, and then the pandemic will still, sadly, be here. Brian Esther's commented on our Facebook page that Phil called in sick. I don't think he called in sick. If he called in sick, he sounded really good when I talked to him on the phone earlier. So
Positively thrilled.
We got a lot of fun coming up for you today on Halftime, and we want you to join in on the phone with us at 877-377-6963. And if you're unable to listen to the full show today, if you're out traveling or whatever you need to get done, make sure you subscribe to the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts, where you can listen to The Morning Rush, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach, Ty's new podcast, Trust in the Process, Primetime Preps, you name it. Any podcast we have under our umbrella, the Hog Talk Podcast, it's all on the Hit That Line Podcast
Isn't
Network.
there a new official name for that, though?
There is, and it is brought to you by the Breeden RV Center. They are family-owned and operated with a no-pressure, laid-back atmosphere, and they are home, always home, of the free maintenance for life. That is the Breeden RV Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts, on Spotify, iTunes, you name it. We got it everywhere. More Halftime coming up after the break. Let's preview Arkansas versus Florida.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit, is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is Pastor Heath from Woodland. I know some of these ads make you glad, but most probably make you mad. The reason is people believe the lie that heals is better than the truth that hurts. Our purpose at Woodland is to risk the hurt by exposing the lies so you can be wise unto salvation. If you'd like to know more, check out our website, woodlandpeople.church. There you can download our app and listen to our podcast. That's woodlandpeople.church.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be gel coat.
For hard work and the great outdoors.
Metal Mart offers high-quality prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shop, carports, and more. They strive to be a company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Mart assists you in calculating the materials needed to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. Stop by 7320 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith or call 648-3342. You can also catch them online at metalmarts.com. Metal Mart, the right material for the right price.
Do you have sleep apnea? Are you tired of dealing with a CPAP every night? The noise, the constant cleaning. Your wife telling you she can't take the noise anymore. Dr. Bo Sparkman at Family Dental Care of Fort Smith can help you with sleep apnea with a custom dental appliance that allows you to get rid of that annoying CPAP. Dr. Sparkman has years of experience and has treated hundreds of patients just like you. Call for your appointment today, 785-1419. That's 785-1419. Get rid of your CPAP with Family Dental Care of Fort Smith.
Looking to upgrade your fleet or needing professional service to your existing fleet? Carco International of Fort Smith offers the latest trucks and equipment in the industry. With over 70 years in the trucking and equipment business, they have the experience to keep you on the road. Carco International offers professional service after the sale. Carco International Parts Department supplies all makes, parts, and gives expert service. Carco International is the answer. Leave it to the pros to keep you on the road. Carco International, located at 2721 Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith.
River City Bistro is Fort Smith's favorite place for lunch, dinner, and brunch. Open 7 days a week, both on the heated patio and the cozy dining room. River City Bistro is locally owned and open weekdays 11 to 8, Saturdays 10 to 8, and Sundays 10 to 3. Want River City Bistro curbside to go? Just search on Facebook or Instagram for River City Bistro or go to rcbistro.com. River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! Step inside, walk this way, you and me, babe. Hey, hey!
Moody, out high, guarded by Stewart. Drives around it, gets to the rim, feeds Smith on the baseline, passed up the shot. He'll give it to Davis, who feeds inside to Vanover for the stub. Hogs started over, Devo attack. Razorbacks up 32-24.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
Welcome back to Halftime. Matty T on the controls. I am Smackdown, and let's kick off segment 2 here of hour number 1 with the breaking news sounder. Matty T got breaking news coming in from Kendall Rogers concerning Arkansas Razorback baseball. Per Kendall Rogers, he has confirmed that the State Farm Classic at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas will be pushed back a day. It is now going to be a Saturday, Sunday, Monday event. And he says this is the correct move by the Rangers. And I mean, it sucks for us because you've been programming this, but with the weather and everything else, this is the right move.
Yeah, there will be a conflict then, I'm guessing, Monday, depending on the time, because you got Musselman on Monday now.
That's true. So, and no times have been announced yet, so I'm sure that's all being worked out. But as far as we know, Arkansas will still play at 7 o'clock Saturday and Sunday, which we're not going to carry the game Saturday because of Razorback basketball, but we will have the game for you Sunday night, and then obviously we'll wait and see what the schedule turns out to be for Monday. But that is news being shared from Kendall Rogers about Razorback baseball, that the Globe Life Field, the State Farm Classic with Arkansas, Ole Miss, TCU, Mississippi State, Texas Tech, Texas, that is going to be pushed back a day. So now it'll be Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and we'll have more as the news becomes more apparent. But that is for Kendall Rogers, and if Kendall Rogers is sharing the news, it's probably pretty accurate. 877-377-6963 is the number to call or text in the show if you want to jump in on any of the conversations. Got a big one tonight inside Bud Walton Arena. Your Arkansas Razorbacks, the 24th ranked team in the country now. They're getting into the AP ranking for the first time in 3 years. Taking on the Florida Gators tonight inside Bud Walton Arena. And we've had several texters already asking, is the game still on? As far as we know, the game is still on. Florida supposed to have made it into Fayetteville late last night, and I know the airport was cleared, so we should be a go for this ball game. There's been lots of schedule changes amongst the SEC as far as games moving back, times, and different things like that to go along with the winter storm that's been not just hitting Arkansas, but it will be hitting other states in Tennessee, Mississippi, Texas. So lots of changes there. We'll touch on that here in a second. But Arkansas, Florida tonight, 6 o'clock p.m. on ESPN2. That game will also be carried live here on ESPN Arkansas, wherever you're listening right now. Pre-game's coverage starting at 5:30 p.m. And Florida comes in a very, very interesting team, to say the least. They've played the second fewest games in the SEC this season. And if you remember earlier in the basketball season, they had the scary incident with Keontae Johnson, who had the collapsing incidents and future illnesses that might have inhibited him a little bit. The COVID kept them out for the first few weeks of the season, the first week of the season, actually. And for the past 2 weeks, they haven't played in over 14 days. So you wonder if rust may be an issue with this Gators team. This is a good Gators team. They're 10-5 on the year so far. They've got big wins over West Virginia. They've beaten Tennessee. They've beaten LSU. And then they've got odd losses. They've got weird losses, including an 18-point loss to the Kentucky Wildcats, which, by the way, are 6-13 on the year so far, and Arkansas beat them. Losses to Kentucky by 18. They've lost to Mississippi State on the road, and then at home to South Carolina. So you don't really know what kind of team you're getting in the Florida Gators. They do lead the nation, though, in block shots. They average about 6 blocks a game, and they hold this for as good as they are blocking the ball, they're not as good rebounding the ball. They hold the SEC's second worst rebounding margin. So it's kind of an odd little deal right here between shot blocks and rebounding. So it'll be interesting to see how this whole game plays out. You need to watch out, though, for Trey Mann. He's averaging 14 points a game, almost a little over 5 boards a game. He plays a lot like Moses Moody, where the difference is Mann will be more of the point guard for him, where Moody plays more the 2-3, a little bit more of a 4 kind of a role for this basketball team. 14 points a game, though, for Trey Mann. That's going to be something to keep an eye on with them. And also the thing to watch with Florida, they lead the SEC in three-point field goal percentage. As a team, they shoot over 37% from the three-point line. And Trey Mann, he's also dynamite from the three-point line, 41% from the stripe for him. And also Noah Locke, he is the team's leading three-point shooter at 42%. So that's two guys in the top 10 amongst SEC three-point field goal percentage for them, three-point shooting. How can Arkansas defend the three-point line? That's going to be the biggest question. Can they guard that three-point line? Because look what's happened these past 2 games. Yes, you've gotten wins, but Kentucky and Missouri were pretty much lights out from the three-point line for most of that game. Can they guard the three-point line? And some of that, like Phil has said probably previously, and some of this may have been by design more than anything. So maybe and you have to trust Musselman in this scenario that they're going to have a game plan in place to guard the three-point line, to have the proper defense going out there. So it'll be interesting to see with that. Some also other things that I want to keep an eye on. Can Arkansas get out and run, get up and down the floor, and set the pace for the game early? You've seen it a little bit where I've said it as well. Can they get out to a hot start and just put the game away early? They haven't necessarily done that per se in the past 2 games against Kentucky and Missouri, but they've hung around. They've hung around, and they never got down. They never got discouraged. And both times, I think, at one point, were down 8, 10 points and just chipped away, always stayed within striking distance, and then you hit them with this big second-half run, 10-0 run, 12-0 run. So can they just get off to a good start? Can they just get off to that good start that they need to? And I think they can. And if you don't get off to hot starts, it's no big deal. And you're sitting at a 7-game or 6-game SEC win streak right now. It's going to be okay. You heard me mention it earlier. Florida hasn't played in over 2 weeks, over 14 days. Is it going to be a Rusty's Gator team? Is it going to be a team that you're going to be able to tell that hasn't played in a while? Arkansas is definitely in that midseason groove right now. And it looks like it's going to be staying that way. And also the one thing that I'm anxious to see about, and we've had a lot of fans chime in, it was like, this team needs to be ranked. This team needs to be ranked, especially leading into the non-conference portion of the season, and now especially now with this SEC win streak that you've got going right now. Will the team being ranked now you've got the expectation from fans like, okay, now you're one of the 25 best teams in the country. You're sitting at number 24. Can you match the expectations of this team? You've been playing really well. Now you have the number in front of your name, which all you fans wanted, myself included. I'm not dogging anybody. But one loss to a team that you're supposed to beat. You're a 5-point favorite over this Florida team, according to ESPN and the stat line and everything about it. You're a 5-point favorite. Can you win the games that you're supposed to win? Because if you lose this game, you're pretty much out of the rankings, and I'm not going to say you're necessarily out for the rest of the year, but you need to win the games you're supposed to win. And, yes, you do have a very difficult schedule in front of you. Florida's no knockoff team. They're going to be a good team. It's a solid team, a good test for this team. And you have Alabama coming to Fayetteville. You got LSU coming to Fayetteville here very, very soon, which will do a lot for SEC standings, which we'll touch on here just in a second. Win the games you're supposed to win. Don't lose to Texas A&M. Don't lose to South Carolina. Don't lose to Florida. Win what you're supposed to win. Take care of what you can do to control what you can control. Miss Lisa texted in here on our Facebook page. She says, if they cannot guard the three-point line, the ruck is going to run out sooner or later. Completely agree. Though, a lot may be changing. I mean, you never know. You never know. Muss has a game plan in place. Yes, you allowed a lot of three-pointers against Missouri and Kentucky, but you still found a way to pull out the win in the long run. So we'll see what happens tonight. It's going to be interesting to see how this whole thing plays out. As far as other games that are happening around the SEC tonight, look, we mentioned Florida, Arkansas, Missouri, and Georgia. That time has been moved up. It was originally I believe it was a 6:30 or 7 o'clock tip-off. That's been moved up to 6 o'clock tonight. Not really any changes as far as to the SEC standings. I thought just maybe you want to cheer for Georgia just that way. Missouri will move back further in the line. What you do want to have happen, though, and it comes up Thursday. We'll obviously talk more about it as we get closer. LSU takes on Ole Miss. That's at a 4 p.m. kickoff, which is odd because of all the weather changes and everything else. You've got a couple 2 and 4 o'clock games, SEC games, this coming Thursday. You need to be Ole Miss fans because you're in a tiebreaker right now with this Ole Miss team. And it's going to be interesting to see how this whole thing plays out. But you got Kentucky and Vanderbilt this week. You've got South Carolina, Tennessee, Bama, and Texas A&M, LSU, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Auburn. You've got a lot on the line here for this basketball team. It's going to be interesting to see, though, how this whole thing plays out in the long run for the rest of this season. And that's a little preview. We'll touch more on this coming up here very, very soon with Nikki Chavanel of hogbeat.com. I know she'll have a lot to say with this ball game here and a lot more conversation, including the new commit of Rashad Dubian here with the Razorback football team. Hey, we're halftime today is brought to you by the Fence Man. And if you own a business that needs more security, maybe you just want something with a better look or more curb appeal, the Fence Man, it can give you both. And they've been in business for over 40 years in the Fence Man. They can install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. If your fence is what you're needing, there's no better person to call than Sean with the Fence Man. Make sure you ask him about the 18-month same as cash financing, and you can give them a call at 479-782-3936. That is 479-782-3936. That is the Fence Man, and he ain't afraid of no work. When we come back, it is going to be Nikki Chavanel from hogbeat.com joining us here on Halftime. We'll be right back. Make sure you stay tuned. You're listening to Halftime on ESPN Arkansas.
Yo, the college basketball season is heating up, and I'm telling you that we need to turn our attention to the Wendy's Wooden Watch. Now, in 2002, I was honored to receive the John R. Wooden Player of the Year Award, which is presented to the country's most outstanding men's and women's player, who is also making progress towards earning a degree. That's very important. This year, players like Luka Garza, Cade Cunningham, Rhyme Howard, and Aaliyah Boston are all vying for the trophy. So who will take it home? The 2021 John R. Wooden Men's and Women's Player of the Year is presented by Wendy's.
Wendy's new classic chicken sandwich is now in the 2 for $5, and that's reason to celebrate. Try the new classic and then take your mouth on a victory lap with the iconic Dave single, the delicious spicy chicken sandwich, spicy or crispy 10-piece nuggets, or just get another classic chicken sandwich. Taste greatness today with Wendy's 2 for $5. We got you.
For a limited time, a la carte only. Price and participation may vary. U.S. Wendy's.
Bryn Higgins Trucking in Mulberry is immediately hiring for weekend and part-time local and over-the-road driving positions. Go to work for a great family-owned business transporting frozen and refrigerated goods since 1997. At Bryn Higgins Trucking, you truly are part of a family that cares about your future and your family. Contact Bryn or Connie today at 479-997-2366. That's 479-997-2366. Or apply online at BrynHigginsTrucking.com for weekend and part-time local and over-the-road driving positions.
Do you need help with your next project? Metters Lumber True Value is here to help. A family-owned business since 1936, the staff has more than 90 years of experience in construction and the hardware business. If they don't have what you need, they know how to get it, and they are more than happy to accommodate your special order. So whether it's building a new deck, a paint project around the house, or needing a new set of tools, Metters Lumber True Value has everything you need. With locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville, and you can shop online at metterslumber.com. Metters Lumber True Value.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC has over 200 pre-owned vehicles to choose from luxury to economy and everything in between, including over 50 great vehicles with payments under $250 a month, certain to fit your needs and your budget. And at Harry Robinson Buick GMC, you always get more for your trade. 50 vehicles with payments under $250 a month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC, Exit 11 off I-540 in Fort Smith.
Getting your ride ready for warmer weather? Come see the guys at Advanced Mechanical Performance. Whether it's a lift kit, service specials, accessories, or a complete makeover of your machine, Cody and the gang can get you hooked up and running for the upcoming season. Advanced Mechanical Performance works on all trucks, Jeeps, or UTVs, from diesel engine performance and repair to custom off-road fabrication. See the gang at 3201 Wheeler Avenue today. Advanced Mechanical Performance is what you should be striving for.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
Hertz Car Sales has been serving the River Valley for over 40 years and takes pride in offering exceptional service. Whether you're looking for a car, truck, crossover, or SUV, Hertz offers a big selection of the most popular brands. They're friendly, offer a no-pressure car shopping experience, and their vehicles are high quality and priced competitively. New inventory is arriving daily and trade-ins are always welcome. So make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard, give them a call at 783-1722, or check out their line of quality pre-owned vehicles at buyfromhertz.com.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Molinars, he comes into the front court, he splits the double team, gets to the right elbow, Vanover blocked his shot, took it away. Lead court, Justin Smith to the rack, he lays it in. Ben Howland's got to call a timeout. Vanover stuffed him at one end. Justin Smith finished at the other. Hogs are up 38-24.
Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and SmackDown.
I sure wouldn't mind to be in Margaritaville right now, Matty T.
You wouldn't? I wouldn't mind having 2 pina coladas, one for each hand.
One for each hand, that'd be fantastic. Be somewhere tropical with feet in the sand and not feet in the snow. I mean, I love the snow. Don't get me wrong.
It's pretty good, but I feel like my toes are going to freeze off.
Can't do that right now. Let's head to the phone lines and welcome in Nikki Chavanel from hogbeat.com and Rivals. Nikki, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much are you enjoying the snowpocalypse that's been happening all week?
Well, I really, really hated it when it was icy, but the snow has a magical quality to it that makes you, kind of forgive it a little bit for being so cold.
It sure makes things brighter, doesn't it? When we left the studio yesterday, I was like, I need my sunglasses, but give it a few days and then it's going to be all muddy and mushy. And,
yeah.
You bring that up, and I'm curious if we had you on like on a Thursday, because we talked about earlier in the show. More snow's coming, and more. I think the last I saw was like 6 to 8 more inches of snow. So I'm curious how our views of the snow being magical, which I agree, I love it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm curious how our opinions will change when it gets here, like Thursday or Friday.
Well, I didn't stock up on food that much, so I'm sure, it'll wear off in a few days. But I've never seen. I mean. This amount was comparable earlier in the winter, I remember, but once it adds to it, I'm not sure I've ever seen that much snow before.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Same thing with the low temperatures. I don't think I've ever seen temperatures this low.
Which that you could transition that into you, Nikki, because you came from Texas originally before you came to Arkansas. Which, have you ever been in this type of cold before? I've never seen it. And me and Matty T were talking about it. Never seen it this cold before here.
No, I haven't. I think I went to New Mexico skiing one year, and there was a storm one night, and it was really, really cold. But for consistent multiple days in a row, no, this is definitely the coldest I've ever been in, but I'm not going outside much, luckily. So.
I don't blame you. Don't blame you at all. Got lots of stuff we want to talk with you about, Nikki. First off, let's talk about the 4-star commit that is committed to the Razorbacks for the class of 2022. That is Rashad Dubinion. I hope I'm pronouncing his last name, Brian. Regardless, though, of however I mispronounce his name, this is a stud that Sam Pittman and this staff got for class of 2022.
Yeah, that's how you say it, Rashad Dubinion. I caught up with his coach the other day, and he just sounds like a really great kid, and he loves football. So, sounds like they're getting a guy that's going to be invested when he gets here. Very focused. He's the number 4 ranked all-purpose back, so he can line up in the slot as well. And if you look at the guys, ranked above him, you have an Oklahoma commit. And then you have Trevor Etienne, who is, the younger brother of Travis Etienne from Clemson. So he's among, the top backs in the nation. And it's a huge get for Jimmy Smith. He was the head coach at Cedar Grove, where Dubinion plays now, and he had won state championships there. And then his defensive coordinator took over that team. And so the relationship has very easily transitioned. And his coach, I think was pushing for Rashad to pick Arkansas and Coach Jimmy Smith because of that relationship. So really, really good get. I don't think they're done at the position. I do think they'll have room for an in-state prospect perhaps at the position. So I think it's just a really good starting point.
Do you think that this type of a player, being a 4-star guy, which Arkansas, I mean, from time to time, Arkansas will pull in a 5-star kid, whether it be an in-state kid or something like that, but being him, being a 4-star kid and the 4th-ranked player among all-purpose backs, is this the type of player that maybe on the offensive side of recruiting that Sam Pittman, Jimmy Smith, and this staff can build around?
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, if he hadn't had such a good relationship with Coach Jimmy Smith, I really don't think you get a player like this early, especially. Now you have a player that you can show to other recruits as one of your commits, and it kind of sets the tone for the level of recruiting you want to be at. So, yeah, I definitely think they can build around him, and, they still have to find a quarterback, so having a weapon like that is a nice piece to show a signal caller what he has to work with when he gets here.
Going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot of fun tracking this thing all throughout the spring and summer once we get the snow off the ground. Let's transition over to basketball for a second. And obviously, we talked about it just a moment ago with the men's team being ranked 24th in the country. And Musselman said during his last press conference with the media that the team's not necessarily worried about the ranking, just focused solely on Florida and what's upcoming. And, Nikki, that's probably the best mindset for this team right now, because one loss it's not going to jeopardize maybe an NCAA tournament bid, but one loss could really set this team back as far as going from a 5-6 seed to an 8 or 9 seed, which is where you don't want to be.
Yeah, it's a real seed game that could change where they end up in the tournament. So definitely a dangerous Florida team, a lot of different weapons. And they need to have a big night after just getting ranked. The last thing they want and that Arkansas fans want is to have that hype of the top 25 ranking and then to immediately lose it, because it took them so long to gain that respect to get there.
How do you see this team? We've talked about this a little bit with the favorable schedule for the rest of the year, but you got Florida coming in, you go to A&M, you still have Alabama, LSU, where you look to hopefully try to maybe split one of those games, probably LSU. How do you see this team finishing down the stretch? And if what we think is a favorable schedule with solid games on the road, but you get your toughest games inside Bud Walton Arena.
Yeah, I think they could win at least 4 games, maybe 5, but you have Alabama is a really, really strong program. LSU can be up and down and predictable, but overall, I think they're getting in a groove to where they could actually play deep into the SEC tournament, which I didn't think was the case a few weeks ago.
It's going to be interesting to tell them about. Nikki Chavanel joining us here on Halftime. Got a couple more minutes here with Nikki. Outside of Razorback Nation, if you look throughout the college football world, Gus Malzahn made a lot of news yesterday, signing on and being the new head coach of this with Central Florida. How do you translate this move for him, going from an SEC school to probably one of the best group of 5 schools that's out there in Central Florida?
That was a great deal for Central Florida.
Exactly.
I don't know. It makes so much sense for them. I think he's going to do a great job recruiting down there. They have a lot of, I think they're just finishing up like a new facility and stuff. So they have a lot of draws to that program, and I'm excited to see who he brings in as his offensive coordinator for sure. It's
going to be a lot of fun to see this guy and how he translates. All right, last couple things I want to ask you here, and I've been anxious to talk to you about this because I know you're a Houston Texans fan coming from Texas. What are the Houston Texans doing releasing J.J. Watt and not trying to trade him and get something back in return for arguably the face of their franchise?
Yeah, I'm really not sure what happened there. I don't know the logic behind it. I don't know if it's something that contractually, like, they get some kind of benefit that we don't know about. But it was I'm sure they could have gotten something for him, so I'm not sure what they were doing.
Oh, I knew as soon as the news broke, I was like, Nikki cannot be happy about this move. So it's going to be I'm curious to see where he ends up. Selfishly, I hope he ends up as a Dallas Cowboy, just go right up the freeway and head to Dallas. But a lot of rumors are circulating that he could be heading to Pittsburgh, or the newest rumor that I've seen on Twitter before we got you on, him heading to the Cleveland Browns.
I think Pittsburgh would be the most interesting. I'd like to see him play with his brothers. I think it's a fun storyline and gets him closer to home as well.
It really would. Last thing I want to touch on with you here, you're going to be joining Ty on his Trust in the Process podcast coming up this week. Are you prepared for what Ty has in store for you? Because I noticed a nice back and forth between you two, because it looked like he scoured your social media channels to tease the news that you're going to be joining his podcast.
I am not prepared, but I'm excited to just roll with it.
It'll be a lot of fun. You can see that podcast on the Hit That Line podcast network, presented by Breeden RV, and that is the one and the only Nikki Chavanel. Joins us every Tuesday here on Halftime. Nikki, thanks so much for joining us, and stay safe and stay warm, my friend.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that is Nikki Chavanel. She joins us every Tuesday here on Halftime.
We didn't ask her how she's a dog mom, right?
Yes.
We didn't ask her how her dog is handling the cold.
I didn't even think about that.
I thought my dog was going to collapse this morning out in the snow trying to take her.
Was it
out
better
there.
this morning or yesterday for your dog?
It was worse today.
Worse today?
Yeah. Yesterday was rough.
Just
because
of the cold?
I think it was the cold, but it's like, no, her legs were shaking. It's like, yeah, she looked miserable.
You know what we need to make? We need to make like full, like we have warm-ups for us and stuff. We need to make like dog coveralls.
Yeah, this is such an unexpected, thing though when it happens.
Really is. And
Did you see? You saw my dog has a sweater though.
Yes.
My girlfriend put a sweater on my dog.
The picture of the picture that you put on your Facebook page, your dog looked not thrilled.
She was over it.
Yeah. Oh God, it was fantastic. More Halftime coming up after the break.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from The Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, The Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call The Fence Man and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts need, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Brr, it's cold, but winter is actually a good time to paint that room you've been meaning to get to. This is Sue from the paint store in Van Buren, and I would love to help you with a great color selection from Richards Paint. Need to do some outdoor painting? The paint store's low temp application product from Richards is usable down to 35 degrees. Experience our 30 plus years of expert friendly advice that you can't get at a national brand store. The paint store in Van Buren, 1414 Fayetteville Road.
The best TV experience in the nation is available locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional dish authorized retailer. Dish has the Hopper 3, the most advanced DVR, and delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now, WOW World of Wireless, at 479-478-6616. That's 479-478-6616 for more details. Or stop by our location at 601 Church Street in Barling, next to Frank Rowe Furniture. Or visit us online at www.shopwownow.com. That's shopwownow.com.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work, real work, working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
This is Brett Good, former Razorback and Super Bowl champion with the Green Bay Packers. Everyone loves to be on a winning team. That is why I have joined Henderson Phillips Employer Solutions. Henderson Phillips can help you tackle all your employee benefit, health insurance, and staffing management solutions. Plus, I can help you with any commercial or personal insurance need. Come join my team at Henderson Phillips. Call me, Brett Good, at 479-651-2292. That's 651-2292.
Bills, kids, school, toilet paper. Who is buying all the canned chickpeas? Delayed shipments, masks, pandemic, elections. You're on mute. Riots, air fryers, test results, streaming services, the playoffs, unfriended. You can turn it all off, at least for a while. The rhythmic sound of your feet on the pavement, the sun peeking through the clouds on a quiet morning. Let us show you how to leave it all behind. True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Look to trap Molinar, gives it away to Tolu Smith at the high post, drives in the lane, knocked away, stolen by Tate. Away to Justin Smith, bounce pass ahead, Davis reverse layup, and it's good. Devontae with a reverse layup, and Ben Howland very quickly calls a timeout on the other end.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins. Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on HitThatLine.com.
Wrapping up hour number one here on Halftime. I'm Smackdown. That's Matty T running the board, and we're Elson free today. At least until 12:30. He's going to be joining us over the phone at 12:30, barring him magically getting internet here in the next 45 minutes or so. But if you're just tuning in, he lost power earlier this morning at his place in Fayetteville. Got the power back, but then I think there is a internet outage with his provider. So he's still dealing with those issues. So we'll be getting him over the phone today. And then if you're just tuning in also, the State Farm Classic, the baseball series that Arkansas is in Arlington, Texas at Globe Life Field, that has been pushed back to Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So no games on Friday to try to, Matty, but the best thing I can think of, try to let some of that snow get melted and try to get some warm weather back into Texas, probably where they are in Dallas. So
they're saying it's expected it's going to be at the same times, though, which would have been a 7 p.m. first pitch, 6:30 broadcast time.
But that'll be the same for,
it would just be
all the games,
right? So
yeah. So Saturday, Sunday, and Monday will all be 6:30 p.m. Air times here 7 p.m. first pitches. So none of that.
Of course, on Saturday we do have Razorback basketball, and that
we won't be carrying,
takes priority over
right.
baseball.
So we won't carry the game Saturday, but we will have it Sunday and Monday.
Correct,
once we get that all officialized from the University of Arkansas.
And there was supposed to be a Musselman show at 7 o'clock on Monday. Maybe they'll cancel that or postpone it a day.
So a lot of moving parts are still happening right now. So we'll be sure to have you full on dates here.
As soon as we know, you'll know.
As soon as you know, we'll know, because
we know.
We're geniuses. That's what we are. A little bit of other Razorback women's basketball news that we can share with you. Jersey Wolfenbarger, she's been named a finalist for the Naismith Trophy for the Girls High School Player of the Year. The five-star commit heading up to Mike Neighbors' squad next season, playing over at Fort Smith Northside. She's going to be up a finalist for the Naismith Girls High School Player of the Year. Go Jersey Wolfenbarger. Absolutely with that. You heard me mention it a moment ago, Matty T, it's one of our favorite holidays of the year. It is National Pancake Day. And that was our last meal that me and you had prior to the pandemic. It's one of our favorite meals.
Well, now, the last time we went to IHOP, you didn't even get pancakes. I think I was the only one that got pancakes, didn't I?
I think I had a short stack with me. I think
Did you just have a short stack?
What? No, I had one of their new like omelet, the scrambled egg meals.
I'm pretty sure I was the only one because that's the reason I wanted to go. They had some
right.
childish.
Yeah,
you know,
you got the frosting and everything on there. But no, this is a very, very important holiday. Which before we dive in, because I found this article of 15 weird facts about pancakes. And this is from ibtimes.com. Pancake or waffles? Pancakes or waffles?
I have to pick just one.
Yes.
Waffles.
Ooh, really?
I mean, it's but then as soon as I say it, I'm like, God, I like pancakes though.
Ty had the interesting like a deal this morning, or like what's the word? Like an interesting take on it. Pancakes are more of like the family meal when you're cooking them at home or something like that. But waffles, you got stories behind eating waffles.
And
like
to
late
me,
at night.
waffles are easier because you don't have to flip them. You just put the batter in there, you close it in, they
and you
cook.
get more syrup.
Pancakes, you could mess up pancakes, you know.
You could.
Yeah.
And
You,
you
flip it too early.
Right, and you get more syrup out of the deal with waffles.
That's right, because there's little I mean, I'm not breaking any new ground here. Waffles contain pores that can fill up with syrup, as everybody's aware of.
Absolutely. Which, to me, like, I probably would
Works
prefer.
good for the butter, too.
It does. It works better all the way around, which I'd always get irritated, like when you go to Texas or something like that. Well, that's the only place I've noticed them, but they have the waffle irons in the shape of the state, in the state of Texas.
Oh, yeah?
So you get a Texas-shaped waffle.
I have a
and it's the biggest waffle you've ever seen.
My waffle iron at home is in the shape of a Pokeball.
I've seen those before.
And I'm not even a Pokemon fan. I was just like, oh, that's kind of cute.
Mine, you'll judge me for this. If we're going to do that, I have a waffle iron. Got it from they gave it to me as a gag gift when I was teaching high school. I love it.
It's got the WWE logo on it. Nice.
That it does. You put the waffle iron in there, press it down, and you get. Oh no, I lied. It's toast. I'm sorry. It's not a waffle iron.
Okay, so I have a
Yeah.
toaster that puts the Star Wars image on. It's shaped like Darth Vader's
was
helmet.
toast. I'm sorry. I blanked.
That's still pretty cool though.
Absolutely. You toast on the WWE logo. So there's this article about 15 crazy facts about pancakes. This is from ibtimes.com. I believe
Sounds
this
made up.
Is this International Business Times? Sounds good enough for me.
Clearly a reputable
Apparently,
source.
I'll just read through these to see if you've ever heard of it. Apparently, pancakes came from Rome.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that. Apparently, they came from Rome. Southerners.
When in Rome, eat pancakes.
That's apparently. In the United States alone, Southerners make up for the most pancake consumption, amounting to 32% of pancakes that are eaten worldwide. That makes sense. I think Cracker Barrel probably goes through 90% of that.
Oh, I like Cracker Barrel.
Love Cracker Barrel. Man, it's great. Let's see. What are some other ones here? The world's largest pancake. This is almost gross. Or it's not gross. It's odd. The world's largest pancake weighed more than a hippopotamus.
Goodness. That's an interesting comparison, but that's
how could you cook that thing all
how
the way
could it
through?
be thoroughly cooked? Have you ever seen Uncle Buck? There's a great movie with John Candy. Well, there's a scene in there where he's cooking a birthday breakfast and he's got these big giant pancakes and he's flipping them with a snow shovel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He said, "You should see the toast. I could barely get it through the door."
Apparently, this pancake in diameter reached 49 feet, and it weighed 6,614 pounds.
Goodness gracious. You're going to need a big fork.
That's it. I don't even know how you get that thing cooked all the way through. There's a pancake out in the world that costs $200.
Is it made of gold?
A restaurant in Manchester named Opus, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, don't even care, has created the world's most expensive pancake costing $200 each. The pricey pancake features Madagascan vanilla pods and a 23-karat edible gold leaf.
There you go.
And is served with a jelly named Don Paragon and organic strawberries.
Don Paragon?
Yes.
Sounds legit to me.
Sounds legit. Would you eat a $200 pancake?
Of course I would. If somebody are you paying?
No, Phil's paying for it. There in Sweden, they serve pancakes made of. Oh wow, I didn't read this ahead of time. In Sweden, they serve pancakes that are made of pork blood. Not to ruin the prestige of National Pancake Day. Let's see here. Pancakes weren't always flat as well as today.
I gotta tell you, it's pronounced Don Perignon, by the way.
Don Perignon? Well, tells you how much I drink it. Lady SmackDown just texted me and said Don Perignon is an alcohol.
Yeah.
What is?
That's just classic SmackDown. What? It's a fancy. Neither of us would have any business drinking that nonsense.
Is it a whiskey?
It's a champagne.
It's a champagne.
Yeah.
Oh, see, there you go. Tells you. See,
I like the champagne of beer.
See, this is why I like having my girlfriend snowed in with me in my apartment, because she's correcting me as we go on without this, because I've just got 6 text messages just like that.
Well, I would feel bad, I guess, if I didn't say something.
No, I appreciate it. No, I would much rather be corrected later than,
It's funny to me
Twitter.
because there's this movie Misery with Kathy Bates, and she pronounces it like that,
what did I say,
And
Paragon?
then he says it, he
Paragon?
says it later on.
How do you, Don Perignon?
Perignon.
What have I said that you've made fun of me before? Lots of things.
There's a whole list.
She says IHOP goes through more pancakes than Cracker Barrel.
More recently, Valentine's Day.
Look,
that was pointed out by a listener, not me.
That is completely how you pronounce it. I don't know what you're talking about.
So one thing about pancakes, the more you're talking about it, that gigantic pancakes tend to get mushy quick before you're done. But that's what's different about a waffle. Waffles stay crispier, don't they?
They do.
And so that's why if I had to pick one, I may take waffles over pancakes because of the mushiness.
Apparently during Pancake Day in Ireland, they do this pancake toss where the pancake gets a groom. So girls will be given time to make the batter, and the eldest unmarried girl would be made to toss the pancake. Success would mean that the girl would get married within the year. So almost like the garter toss. So interesting little weird pancakes right here. Potato pancakes are fried. Oh, we all know that.
Another fun fact, you can use a pancake as a Frisbee. Especially in this weather, just let it sit outside and
You
freeze
really
hard
could.
and
You can do
toss
a
it.
lot of stuff in this weather right now. Where's your favorite place to go get pancakes?
I mean, IHOP.
IHOP,
probably.
I mean, it's an obvious choice.
Yeah. You don't go to a Waffle House for pancakes.
No, it's like you go, that's what always trips me up. Which I get the breakfast side of it. You don't go to Waffle House for a cheeseburger. Maybe I get the stock.
Do you remember when IHOP did the thing where they were changing their name to IHOB
IHOP
and making
did the burgers?
Yeah.
That didn't last very long, did it?
No, thankfully.
Thank God. Don't you love it? What's your favorite? Like a pecan pan? Like, are you simple or do you like to be adventurous with your pancake?
I do like
more adventurous.
Yeah, you see, I like frosting and whipped cream and sprinkles on them. I prefer make a face at it with bacon and egg eyes, and it talks to you. You tell it, say, "Good morning, Mr. Breakfast."
You want to mess with Lady Smackdown for a second?
Pour some Mr. T cereal on it. Sure.
She eats her pancakes inside out.
That's weird.
Like she'll put the syrup on it, and then stick
it works
the
her way
fork
to
in,
the edge.
Works her way to the
Does
edge.
she eat the edges?
No.
So it's like she doesn't eat pancake crust.
No, she just eats the inside.
That's odd.
It is odd.
So maybe she likes the mushiness of a pancake.
Maybe, I don't know, but she'll put the syrup on it and then stick the fork.
Can you get an explanation? Why does she do that?
Well, I would tell you the explanation she just gave me, but I can't say that over FCC airwaves.
We want there to be an hour too. So let's.
And she just got onto you too for that too. We can't. Well, if we could say it one time. That's about all we could say it for.
Mm-hmm.
We'd get in trouble after that.
Yeah, it'd be one great time though.
One great time.
Yeah.
Clay Henry got away with it.
That's right. He still comes on the show.
But I think the Clay's in a different category than me and you.
He's earned it. He's allowed to get one.
He's earned everything he's got. Go celebrate today with some pancakes. I'm going to go try to find some pancakes.
You said you may get IHOP tonight, right?
May get IHOP tonight. See if I can call it in to go. Hour number 2 of Halftime coming up next. We'll be right back for hour number 2. You're listening to Halftime on ESPN Arkansas.
Are you concerned about possible COVID exposure for you or your employees? Fort Smith has a new option for PCR COVID testing that is fast and accurate. Natural State Laboratories out of Little Rock has opened a PCR COVID drive-thru location in Fort Smith at Community Bible Church. PCR testing is the most sensitive, accurate test available, and results are available the next day. No appointment is necessary. Convenient COVID PCR drive-thru testing in Fort Smith is open 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Friday at Community Bible Church, located at 9201 Dallas Street.
They say, trust the process. But if enjoyment isn't part of that process, don't trust the process. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
New Bud Light Seltzer?
Yep.
A hard seltzer with a hint of fruit flavor.
Yep.
Can I try one?
Yep.
That tastes great.
Told ya.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beers, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, Ty Richardson for my friend Jeff Taylor at Jeff's Clubhouse. Jeff's Clubhouse is open Monday through Friday from 11 to 3 and Saturday from 9 to 12. Lunch special, take and bake, brunch to go pants. They have it all at Jeff's Clubhouse. Give Jeff and his crew a call at 479-308-9123. That's 479-308-9123. You can stop by and see him at 2801 Old Greenwood Road in Fort Smith. Check out their menu online at theclubhousefs.com. Jeff's Clubhouse, Fort Smith's premier place for lunch, brunch, and catering.
I'm Matt Brown, PGA professional at the Ben Guerin Golf Course and director of the Ben Guerin Youth Golf Academy. We offer affordable weekly junior golf classes throughout the year to kids ages 3 through 16, including an LPGA, USGA, girls-only golf class. If you're looking for a fun and safe environment for your child to learn the game of golf, then consider the Ben Guerin Youth Golf Academy. Classes will start in March of 2021. For more information, please call 646-2444.
The Frozen Knuckles Challenge is back at Wheeler Power Sports. Claim up to $150 in Wheeler Power Sports cash, along with chances to win other prizes just for riding your bike this winter. The contest runs through March the 6th, so make sure every time you get on your bike, check in at Wheeler Power Sports. For more on the Frozen Knuckles Challenge, go to WheelerPowersports.com. Wheeler Power Sports is located at 901 North 11th Street near downtown Fort Smith. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling.
Man, I just want to ride, man. I just want to ride.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Mostly sunny sky today. Our high this afternoon in the middle to upper teens. Another winter storm moving in tonight. We're looking at anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of snow tonight. And overnight low will drop down to near 10. And then additional snow accumulation, so it could be moderate Wednesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson. Make sure to listen to The Morning Rush every weekday morning from 6 to 9 on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
It's fast. It's exciting.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime. Coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3. Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Because this is a proud damn state.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
You can actually feel Razorback Stadium shaking underneath our feet right now.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Stick this one in the electrical socket, folks. The Razorbacks have shocked the world. Arkansas defeats UConn.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Hour number 2 of Halftime coming at you live on ESPN Arkansas on Snowpocalypse Tuesday. I am Smackdown. That is Matty T. We have no Phil Elson today. He is working on getting his internet coming in. We've had a lot of text today that's saying that Phil was playing hooky today. I tend to believe that he's not playing hooky. I think he actually does have
really,
internet issues.
Really, because he's had a lot of first it was his electricity was out. Then his internet's out.
Now, and it was a little bit everything.
Then his cat was sitting on his keyboard, you know.
I'm sorry I took my touch away from me. I'm getting chewed out on the text message right now.
By listeners or your girlfriend?
By my
girlfriend.
Called
during the break.
She called during the break.
She had a mouthful for me.
Yes, she did. She had a mouthful for both of us. And apparently, if I mess with her or pick on her any during the show again, she's going to delete my progress on my new Super Mario 3D World game.
Uh-oh. You better back that up to the cloud.
I'm going to do everything I can because I'm already up to like World 5 of like 7. I'm dominating this game right now. So,
look out, Bowser.
So she said the only way that I can make it up to her is by bringing her cheesecake chimneys from Taco Bueno.
That's the only thing you can do to make it up?
Yes, and it's all the way on the other side of town.
It is.
So, looks like I'm not.
Well, you'll be half the way there when you drop me off at my apartment.
That's good. That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, we've been playing taxi. I've been playing taxi service all week or yesterday I did it for you, and I offered it to Ty and Tommy, but they didn't take me up on the offer, which.
Too good to get a ride.
It's too good.
Tommy really does live completely the opposite direction.
He does, and Ty lives relatively close. Tommy lives the furthest out, but I think the roads at least here have gotten a little bit better. But I think all that's going to get thrown out the window by the end of the day today. Or by the end of the day today, heading into tomorrow with this next round of storms coming in here. If you want to jump in on the conversation, you want to talk Arkansas, Florida coming up later on this afternoon, give us a call, shoot us a text. 877-377-6963 is the number to call or text in. And we're always streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. We are there. Just go on to our social media channels and do it. JT in Hot Springs texting, he said, SmackDown, take my advice, do what she wants. So
sounds like good advice.
I mean, pretty much I have to go to Taco Bueno after this and get the cheesecake chimneys.
It's pretty much Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. Just get over there and take care of that. All right. I teased this earlier in the show. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, the legendary Cowboys quarterback Joe Buck, one of the best broadcasters in the nation, while with Fox Sports. Joe Buck was recently interviewed with Colin Cowherd of Fox Sports on his Colin Cowherd podcast, which I didn't know was a thing, but apparently it is. And they were talking about, I think the idea got brought up of the relationship between Aikman and Buck really being really comfortable with the broadcast duo. Then Joe Buck let us in on a little bit of a secret that him and Troy Aikman had. Matty T, hit the audio.
Every broadcast partnership has a different feel. Al Michaels always feels like he's leading the broadcast. Tony Romo is the energizer to Nance. You and Aikman are different. You sound like college buddies. You sound like you both have a small glass of bourbon that you sip occasionally during the game, and it's an incredibly comfortable experience for me as a consumer. And I'll ask you what I asked Troy. How long did it take to curate that?
It took longer for Troy and me to get there than it took Smoltz and I to get there. And I'll say this. We have had that glass of bourbon in the booth, although it's not bourbon. It's tequila, splash of Grand Marnier, and grapefruit juice. I went through a couple years where in the first inning of every postseason baseball game, I had the runner go get the biggest beer that the stadium sold. And I had it sitting there, and I would sip it from time to time to remind myself to relax and have fun. I'm just doing a game. And I brought that over to football, but because Troy is a man of finer tastes, beer somehow became tequila, Grand Marnier, and grapefruit juice. We haven't done it in a long time now, but it was good for a stretch. And I feel like it's a good mental trigger to just chill and remind yourself that you're not refueling an F-16 in mid-flight. You're doing a sporting event, and if you treat it like anything other than that, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Do you think we could get away with that here at ESPN Arkansas?
I don't think so.
And not getting drunk, because we can't do that. But I can understand where they're coming from, and just kind of not just leveling you off a little bit.
I'd be too nervous about what I might accidentally say when that it loosens you up too much. At a previous job, it's like there'd be local breweries bring beer in and stuff, and I was always too nervous to drink a beer. Now I did take a tequila shot once on the air because there was a comedian that was like promoting. It was Ron White's cousin. They were in a tequila business. I think it's number Juan Tequila.
Yeah,
and I did take a shot of that on the air, and immediately I was like, oh boy, this could go in a bad place.
But I can understand where they're coming from with that, because and he's right. From like Al Michaels always feels like he's leading the broadcast, and you look at those two, which I know you're not the biggest sports guy, but those two make it sound so comfortable. They make it sound so easy what they're doing, that they're not forcing anything. They're always there, which that makes sense to me, that if you're going to have a little bit of a beverage while you're doing it, just to kind of keep you relaxed, keep you mellow, and don't go overboard with it, which a beer, I mean, is fine, but tequila, Grand Marnier, and grapefruit juice, that's a pretty good combination.
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder, me and you are the only one.
Well, now with podcasts and stuff, it's a lot looser, too. You know, Joe Rogan, he's doing all kinds of stuff on his show.
You can get away with anything.
He's got plenty of people that are still.
Oh, yeah, you can get away with anything on the podcast level.
I mean, you and I did stop by the sponsor of the halftime podcast yesterday, Eastside Liquor.
Yeah, we did.
Those fine folks over there. Great value and great deals at that place, am I right?
Absolutely. I think that's something, me and you are the only two here right now. Because, I mean, we could get away with something right now if we wanted to. I think I did.
Did you bring any of the liquor from Eastside Liquor yesterday?
No, I didn't, because well, anyway.
Drank it all last night?
No, we didn't drink it all, but we got close. There's some in our refrigerator, I think, because I think.
Oh, there's a couple of. Is that Bud
Light seltzers or something like that? Because I drank one. We ate something weird during the show, or I don't know. I chugged one during a commercial break, and it was out of date or something like that, because I'm sure it was something that Ty brought.
You didn't realize until it was gone, though, that it was out of date.
Something like that. I wonder, though, if there's more secrets like that with announcers that we don't know about.
You mean that there's more alcoholics?
Maybe
secretly?
Not necessarily alcoholics,
or
but
that they just loosen up a little bit.
Loosen up a little bit prior to a big broadcast.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Like, I put this topic in here before we got the news of Phil not being in here, which I know Phil doesn't do this during Razorback baseball because you're on a college campus. Mm-hmm. But I wonder, like, if there's stories like that he knows of with like the minor, like the AA, AAA, and all the baseball stories, because I don't know. I just thought it was really interesting to think about that you're talking about the Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are calling the Cowboys-Packers games, and they're sipping on a margarita during the middle of the game. Like, something about that just screams appeal to me. I love it. I absolutely love it. But if that were the case,
they feel that confident in the gig though that they're not that worried about it.
I guess
it depends too on how much you're relying on is this what you fall back on?
But I think it was, from the way I understood it, they don't do that anymore in their broadcast, which Troy Aikman and Joe Buck have been doing games together for years. I mean, they've been the duo for Fox Sports for quite a long time, especially with their football series. To me, it didn't sound like they do it anymore. So maybe it's just something to kind of get them acquainted with each other, really level off, because you're a whole lot more honest with people when you got that liquid courage in your system, which I know we've joked about. We have a great show. I think we got the best show on our ESPN Arkansas lineup. But could you imagine how much more our listeners would enjoy what we talk about during commercial breaks that we can't say?
Would everybody agree with everything?
Probably
would
not.
Some people be offended.
But would you be laughing?
I laugh more during the breaks.
I was going to say, how many times do we come back out of a commercial and we got tears in our eyes and then we're just like, game face, there we go.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
To me, it's more enjoyable.
It's always enjoyable. Maybe we just see, that's where this TRL halftime gig that I was talking about, this needs to happen. We should have done that today.
Total Request Live.
Total Request Live
edition.
on halftime edition. With no Phil today. So
this is our first royalty-free song we're playing into break.
It really is.
By some group you've never heard of.
Some group you've never heard of, but we thank it for their
with
royalty-free
no lyrics
music.
and.
You know who we also need to thank? We need to thank Wheels RV for sponsoring our show today.
Right.
Wheels RV. They've got RV pricing arriving early right now. Wheels RV in Springdale. They want to invite you to skip the lines and crowds early this year and shop the industry's best brands at Northwest Arkansas's premier RV dealer. And with a lifetime warranty RV storage and mobile shuttle service, owning a new RV has never been easier. You heard me just mention their winter storage special. $50 a month, no contract, month-to-month availability, and special parts and service pricing for storage customers on winterization, cleanings, and inspections, and more. They've got all the best brands in Grand Design, Forest River, Solar Powered Vibe, all new Alliances, KZ, Sportsman, and they're the only lifetime warranty dealer in Northwest Arkansas. That is Wheels RV. Check out their inventory online at wheelsrv.net. More halftime coming up next.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is Pastor Heath from Woodland. I know some of these ads make you glad, but most probably make you mad. The reason is people believe the lie that heals is better than the truth that hurts. Our purpose at Woodland is to risk the hurt by exposing the lies so you can be wise unto salvation. If you'd like to know more, check out our website, woodlandpeople.church. There you can download our app and listen to our podcast. That's woodlandpeople.church.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Supplies. There will also be cash prizes for those that finish in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Positions are extremely limited to enter the competition, so to get more info and to sign up, contact United Welding Institute at 479-968-3390 or by logging onto their website, unitedweldinginstitute.com.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
When you've escaped the screens and the sun bathes everything in a golden glow, and your friend hands you a cold organic beer that tastes as perfect as nature itself, that's pure gold. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, the first national USDA certified organic beer. Organic by nature. Enjoy responsibly. 2020 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, St. Louis, Missouri.
Have you ever been to River City Bistro for a brunch on the weekends? Every Saturday and Sunday, River City is open at 10 a.m. with a special brunch menu. Eggs and omelets any way you like. Premium bacon, sausage and ham, waffles, eggs Benedict, and a great drink menu featuring mimosas, Bloody Marys, and all your brunch favorites. We will see you for brunch every Saturday and Sunday starting at 10 a.m. at River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
The Frozen Knuckles Challenge is back at Wheeler Power Sports. Claim up to $150 in Wheeler Power Sports cash, along with chances to win other prizes just for riding your bike this winter. The contest runs through March the 6th, so make sure every time you get on your bike, check in at Wheeler Power Sports. For more on the Frozen Knuckles Challenge, go to WheelerPowersports.com. Wheeler Power Sports is located at 901 North 11th Street near downtown Fort Smith. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling.
Man, I just want to ride, man. I just want to ride.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey,
Yo, VIP. Let's kick it. Ice, ice, baby. Ice, ice, baby. All right, stop. Collaborate and listen.
Tate in the half court for Arkansas. Jalen drives the right side, floats it up, gets it to fall, and they fouled him too. It's going to be an and one for Jalen Tate right out of the inbounds. Arkansas's got a chance to tie it.
Need a little bit more halftime in your life? Make sure to download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith has the best deals in the River Valley on liquor, beer, and wine. Stop by 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith and make sure to check out their Facebook page for weekly specials. The Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast is part of the Hit That Line Podcast Network and is available wherever you listen to podcasts, including SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.
Made my first trip over to Eastside Liquor yesterday, like we talked about in the last segment. Great guys over there that are some incredible sponsors for our halftime podcast that Matty T will have up for you right after the show. So if you missed any part of our show today, it'll be up there live for you right after the show.
We include the entire show. That's right. We don't cut segments out.
No.
Can you believe that place was almost completely underwater just about 2 years ago?
I've heard about that.
Yeah.
Look, I wasn't
that flood. I wasn't either, but I've seen pictures.
Was that 2 years ago?
Has to have been now because I've been here a year and a half.
And you weren't
maybe longer than 2 years.
Is it 2018? Well, it had to have been. I guess if it's 2 years. That's
yeah,
great.
I've seen drone footage. Like if you look on YouTube, you can see footage that flies right over the top, and the only thing exposed was their roof.
God almighty. I remember that flood like it was yesterday for sure. So, yeah, it's.
Well, back then in Little Rock, I worked by the river too, and everybody was all sandbagged up and everything.
You were legitimately worried for a little bit, for a short period of time. So, and obviously we're not going to see the flooding with the snow, but it's going to be. I'm curious.
It's going to be messy afterwards.
It's going to be horrible. And I know me and you talked about this yesterday. Car wash owners are just licking their chops right now because how many times after snowstorms is that car wash line going to be
once
packed?
They start putting salt and stuff on the roads, all that stuff gets up on your paint.
Car,
you want to get it off.
Get it off there, absolutely. B in Clarksville texted in a moment ago. Maddie said, I'm in Northwest Arkansas. Does he need to bring Phil down here to the studios? I think we're handling it just fine right now.
Yeah, I think so. By the time he picked him up and got here, the show would be over anyways.
It depends on how fast BE drives, which you can't drive
hopefully
fast
not too
now.
fast.
You can't drive fast. Dennis and Van Buren text us in. He says halftime is the best show on ESPN Arkansas by far. I tend to agree with him. I think we're pretty damn good myself, Matty T.
Yeah, he goes on to tear down other shows, but we don't need to tear down other shows to bring ourselves up.
No, it's good.
Appreciate the sentiment.
Yeah, we appreciate it though. Ronnie in Fort Smith. Ronnie from the Fort texted in. He says, SmackDown, we're doing a wonderful job. Thank you, Ronnie.
He's doing a wonderful job too.
He is doing a wonderful job. We appreciate all the text in, which, by the way, also listen to the podcast, but you heard the sound that we played prior to that. Jalen Tate's going to need a big game tonight for Arkansas versus the Florida Gators tonight. That starts at 6 o'clock p.m., and that'll be on ESPN2. Well, the pregame coverage here will start at 5:30 p.m. with Chuck and Z and all those boys. And it's going to be an interesting game. And you heard Nikki talk about it as well. It's a dangerous Florida team. And I've seen a lot of tweets come across, like during the commercial breaks and looking. How many times have you seen when Arkansas gets expectations or gets ranked or different things like that, that you fall to those expectations? So you maybe try to buck the trend tonight.
You think it all goes to their head and then they don't perform quite as well?
I don't know if it necessarily goes to the head, but it's different. Which I think for this team, because you got a lot of young pieces, but you got a lot of veteran pieces. And I think this team understands what's its play here, because you don't want the 8-9 seed line, because you might win your first round game, but then right after that, Maddie, if you win the first round, you play the number 1 seed in the whole of college basketball or in the NCAA tournament. So you want to get off that 8-9 seed line. And for all of you texting in asking if the game is going to be played, the Florida Gators men's basketball at Gators MBK, if I could say that, Rob, they just posted a Twitter picture on their Twitter profile practicing inside BWA right now. So the game, barring something stupid happening, which there is a snowstorm, there is power outages happening, but the game will be played here later on this evening. I found this story earlier this morning, and yes, I probably wouldn't have talked about it if Phil.
Is this wrestling stuff?
It's wrestling stuff. So forgive me just for a moment, because I don't talk enough wrestling on the show to I don't talk a lot of wrestling, because at the behest of the normal host of the show, and for you, because I know, like, you two respect my fandom of wrestling, but you don't, like, you guys.
Well, I respect you enough to not,
but like,
I'll be honest. When you interviewed for this job, the big downside was like, well, he's a big wrestling fan,
Wow.
But that's how great your interview was that we overlooked it. We're
the
like, all right, we'll let one of these wrestling guys work here.
I love it. That's fine with me. I'll take it. So forgive me just for a moment and just humor me, if you will, and just take the blinders off. I know wrestling is fake. I'm just waiting for these text messages to come in.
Whoa, who's this dope rapper? He looks like he's 8 years old.
All right, I'm glad you brought that up. Bow Wow.
Woof woof.
Woof woof. The guy that starred as, I don't even remember the character's name, but in Like Mike.
Like Mike? Oh, yeah.
It's been years since I've seen Like Mike, but the character from him, rapper, you've seen him on Wild 'N Out, you've seen him on Roll Bounce. Which
this song, I believe, is from Big Mama's House.
Big Mama's House, yeah. Have you seen Roll Bounce?
No.
That's a very underrated movie. It's got Bow Wow as the main character, Nick Cannon. It's got the guy off of, he's a character off of
You
Holes.
love Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon's cool.
Yeah.
Now, let me hang on.
Has he done something offensive since then that you have to distance yourself from him?
Yeah, let me rephrase that.
Before he did
what he did.
I don't know what it was, but it was obviously.
It was very controversial.
Something racial?
Yes.
Okay.
Prior to that, though, yes,
Before that,
he's fine.
You can separate the man's opinions from his work.
Yes.
Okay.
His work, he's great. He's fantastic on Wild 'N Out. He's great on The Masked Singer, which is probably my favorite TV show.
But like
right
social
now.
commentary.
Yeah, that's up for
he should just leave that.
Anyway,
okay.
Bow Wow is apparently teaming up with WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi to begin a career as a WWE wrestler.
I don't know who that is, but Bow Wow is an adult now.
He is an adult.
And like Mike, he was a child.
Right.
That's been a few years. He's an adult.
So according to this
we
article,
get the song too.
This is
cut this off.
Maybe
Can't hear any more of that.
Well, I don't know. Well, I don't know what will happen after the words after that. But anyway, well, it was a baby Bow Wow. It probably would.
Yeah. He does he cuss now?
Oh, I'm sure he does.
Okay.
I'm sure.
Certainly is like a 9-year-old. He wasn't.
It really
he wasn't
is.
Cursing.
Bow Wow is now 33 years old. So that doesn't make you feel, I don't know what else will, but apparently
Bow Wow has quite a few years on you.
He really does. Excuse me, getting a drink here. 33 years old, apparently training to become a WWE superstar, and he's teaming up with WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi. Well, did you watch 90s wrestling at all?
Yes, I did. 90s.
You would probably know Rikishi.
Okay, let me look this guy up.
Yeah,
certainly. Okay.
Yeah, that's
yes,
Rikishi.
Yes.
So he's teaming up with Rikishi, which if you don't know, he's a big Samoan wrestler. Yeah. He wore the thong to the ring.
This is
it's great entrance music right here. So he's being trained by him. And according to Bow Wow, he wants to team up with Rey Mysterio.
I know Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, well, he's wanting to get teamed up with him.
I've seen him live.
So, yeah, Rey Mysterio's fantastic.
Rey Mysterio Jr.
Huh?
Junior?
Yes, right, Rey Mysterio. Yes, that is correct. He wants to team up with him when he's done. He's wanting to get to WWE. And now he's already starting to cause drama with WWE superstars, so that's all fine and dandy. It is what it is. But my question here...
Real drama or fake drama?
I'm sure it's fake drama, but it is what it is. Bow Wow's not going to be the first time that a celebrity has done the crossover.
Okay, I'm looking at your list here. The former president...
He's a WWE Hall of Famer.
Was in the ring, right?
Yes.
Didn't he slapped Vince McMahon?
He knocked out Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 23, I think it was. Correct me if I think it was that. Snoop Dogg has done it. Snoop Dogg did a 5-star.
That's Bow Wow's uncle.
Yeah, Bow Wow's uncle. I think everybody.
It runs in the family.
It runs in everybody's family because at some point or another, heck, me and you are somewhere down the road are probably related to Snoop Dogg. It's just a matter of fact. Snoop Dogg's
I've been told I'm as cool as Snoop Dogg.
Have you ever heard of Bad Bunny? He's a new rapper.
I think he's gonna be. First of all, when I saw Bad Bunny, I thought that was the girl that was on Dr. Phil that said "Catch Me Outside." How about that? And then I realized, no, this is somebody else. And I think this Bad Bunny is going to be on Saturday Night Live.
He is going to be on Saturday Night Live.
So this is somebody different.
Bad Bunny is doing it right now.
I think she's Bad Barbie or something like that.
Something like that. Rob Gronkowski, you've heard of him.
Football player.
Yeah.
Very intelligent gentleman.
He's done it. Pat McAfee, big fan of Pat McAfee. He's competed in the ring and absolutely killed it in the ring here very recently. You go back, former President Trump is a Hall of Famer in WWE because of what he did at the ring. Mr. T.
He pities the fool who doesn't do it.
He teamed up with Hulk Hogan. Drew Carey. Albeit his appearance in WWE was quite short-lived, but he's done stuff in the ring. David Arquette. If you're
now, he is a hardcore wrestling fan.
He's a hardcore wrestling fan.
He's made all kinds of like movies and documentaries.
What was the name of that movie?
Ready to Rumble?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, Ready to Rumble. Okay. So, my question: why not Bow Wow? Why not give Bow Wow the chance to fulfill maybe a childhood dream? So, there's that. But I also wanted to ask you this, just because I thought this would be a fun topic, and I want you guys out there listening. Text me in the answer to this question at 877-377-6963. Hacker and Harrison texted before we get to that. Isn't Rikishi the guy with the finishing move called the stink face? It was. It is called the stink face because the guy would be in the back corner of the ring, and he would basically just sit down on his face.
Oh, okay.
And just rub his.
That's a classic move.
Classic move. Text me in the answer to this question because I'm curious what all our listeners think. If you were to team up, and I want you to answer this too, and I'll give a few answers for me. If you're to team up with any WWE wrestling superstar, past, present, now, I don't care, who would you want to team up with?
Well, at different points in my life, it was a different guy. Earlier on, Jake the Snake. When I was a kid, I loved Jake the Snake Roberts. And then later on, like I'd say probably 5th or 6th grade, I was into the Ultimate Warrior.
Yes.
And it was really because of the showmanship, and everything. But, yeah, but those guys, man, I watched a documentary on Jake the Snake, man.
Dude's troubled.
Yeah, so talk about now. It's like, God, it wouldn't be the same thing.
He's been saved. He's got saved a lot. I think he did do you remember DDP, Diamond Dallas Page?
Yeah.
He's got this really successful yoga program that really brought Jake out of his addictions and different things like that. So he's a much better person than he probably was then. So what would you team up with Ric Flair?
Oh,
because to me, if you team up with Ric Flair, you're riding jets, you're styling and profiling, you're in limousine riding.
I mean, I've heard claims about Ric Flair that I'd have to, you'd have to see him to believe him.
Did you watch the 30-30 for documentary?
Yes, I believe we're referencing the same.
Did that open your eyes any?
Yeah, I think we're referencing the same.
Exactly. What about Stone Cold?
Steve Austin is still cool though. I would say of some of the guys that are still doing well, Steve Austin would be one of the coolest ones.
Because to me, you team up with him, you kick everybody's ass, and then you drink beer.
Yeah. Maybe go hunting.
What about The Undertaker?
Love The Undertaker.
It might be a little bit weird to get used to coming out of caskets, but if you can get past that, nobody's going to mess with you because you've got the
And I've seen interviews with him where he's not in Undertaker character, and he seems like a really cool dude.
Real cool country dude from Texas. What about The Rock?
I mean, not only – it's like I wouldn't even think The Rock was in this because he's become such another superstar. It's like – and basically every movie he makes is a huge blockbuster and entertaining, so you can't hate The Rock.
Is it weird that he hasn't won an Oscar?
No.
You don't think so?
Those aren't Oscar movies. I mean, Rampage, San Andreas.
He just
Jumanji 1 and 2. Those aren't exactly. Nominated for an Academy Award, The Rock for Jumanji 2.
Hey,
Back to the Forest or whatever it was called.
Hulk Hogan. Would you team up with Hulk Hogan?
Absolutely. Now, I'd say probably Hulk Hogan. When I was a kid, he was the biggest.
Absolutely.
It's like he was the face of WWF at the time.
I would team up just so I could get the 24-inch pythons, brother.
You got to take your vitamins.
Last one, John Cena. Would you team up with Cena?
I could take or leave John Cena. Now, I like him more as the years go by, seeing him in some movies and stuff. He's kind of funny. But at the time,
Trainwreck.
I remember, I think I had his CD at the time when he first came out, his rap CD. Yeah, and he had the belt that's thing spun on it.
Yep, exactly.
So, not a huge John Cena fan, but
Well, if you teamed up with John Cena, you'd probably never see us coming.
Because that's, can you see me? Is that his saying?
Okay, that joke didn't go anywhere at
Well, we
all.
just had a full wrestling segment.
Isn't that great? See, and you had fun with it. You were engaged.
Yeah.
We got lots of texts. We're going to ask Phil this when we come back because I'm curious to see what Phil would say. And just
Jerry the King Lawler,
that's
Donnie
a
and
great
Fayetteville.
one. You know what? I would probably team up with Jake the Snake take him to B-Dubs and see if we could take down some chicken wings at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Do you think he'd bring a snake and give his snake a few mango habanero wings?
Maybe, but if we did
better
do
be
that,
boneless.
we would need to get the 20 for 20 wing bundle. It's available for a limited time only right now, so if you haven't taken advantage of the deal, you need to do it. It's enough food for me and you. We'll throw in Jake the Snake. You get 20 boneless and 20 traditional wings and a large fry, all of that for $39.99. That is an incredible deal from Buffalo Wild Wings. You can find locations for B-Dubs: Fort Smith, Conway, Sherwood, Little Rock, and in Jonesboro. That is Buffalo Wild Wings. I know I got choked up. I think we got Phil coming up next.
Yay.
Stay tuned.
Here's good news. Even with high unemployment, there's still a need for hundreds of thousands of cybersecurity professionals in the U.S. right now. And My Computer Career is training people to help meet the demand. No IT experience? No problem. Take the free career evaluation today at mycomputercareer.edu. Start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Grants covering up to 53% of the cost are available to those who qualify. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Okay, set it down over there and then go to bay 5.
Indeed knows unexpected growth can stretch your business thin.
Need to keep going to finish.
Like Amir's warehouse. To expand capacity, he needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Ty Richardson for my friend Jeff Taylor at Jeff's Clubhouse. Jeff's Clubhouse is open Monday through Friday from 11 to 3 and Saturday from 9 to 12. Lunch special, take and bake, brunch to go pants. They have it all at Jeff's Clubhouse. Give Jeff and his crew a call at 479-308-9123. That's 479-308-9123. You can stop by and see him at 2801 Old Greenwood Road in Fort Smith. Check out their menu online at theclubhousefs.com. Jeff's Clubhouse, Fort Smith's premier place for lunch, brunch, and catering.
Hertz Car Sales has been serving the River Valley for over 40 years and takes pride in offering exceptional service. Whether you're looking for a car, truck, crossover, or SUV, Hertz offers a big selection of the most popular brands. They're friendly, offer a no-pressure car shopping experience, and their vehicles are high quality and priced competitively. New inventory is arriving daily and trade-ins are always welcome. So make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard, give them a call at 783-1722, or check out their line of quality pre-owned vehicles at buyfromhertz.com.
Hey, Grounds Guys.
Hey, what?
Can you clean up my yard?
You betcha. That's what the Grounds Guys are here for. Grounds Guys will clean up any of that lingering winter debris like leaves and branches, prep your lawn for spring, and give your flower beds a fresh new look. The Grounds Guys is your one-stop shop for all your lawn care needs in Northwest Arkansas and the Fort Smith area. Call 479-303-GUYS. That's 303-GUYS. Or visit groundsguys.com. The Grounds Guys. Leave the yard work to us.
Are you trying to sell your home? Then you owe it to yourself to use all the tools available to speed up the process and get the deal you really want. From 3D home tours, videos, and stunning photography, to blanket local advertising and social media blasts, selling your home just got a whole lot easier. Go to nickandellie.com and contact Ellie Glidewell to start putting these smart home selling tools to work for you right now. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Saisley and Edwards Realtors.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources, and I want to help you get a great deal on a great car. So I'm making it easy with prices up to $3,113 below retail on the best selection of Rath road-ready vehicles we've had in months. These are late-model, low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs that have been hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. You just can't buy a better pre-owned vehicle. And right now, you can save with prices up to $3,113 below retail. If you're waiting on your tax refund, my TaxMax program can help with that by getting you access to your money now. Worried about your credit? Don't be. My For the People credit approval process can get you approved and driving your nicer, newer car today. If you're not in the market right now, let us take care of the car you have in our Meineke Car Care Center, the home of half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Don't wait. Get the nicer, newer car you want today and save up to $3,113 at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Dribbles up top, feeds Ramirez, guarded by Andia Jones. Barnum will screen for Ramirez, uses the screen, 3's on the way, and we're tied. Amber Ramirez ties the game. Timeout, Texas A&M. All she needs is just the tiniest little sliver of daylight, and she hits it.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
Every SEC team to a current country music artist. Why is Arkansas Blake Shelton?
Who knows breakups like Blake Shelton at Arkansas? Blake.
Wow. Have a smart speaker? Just say play ESPN Arkansas to listen to Halftime anywhere you go.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
Got a text message just a second ago during that break. Dad has 2 broken ribs.
Oh, my gosh.
2 broken ribs after his little fall.
And he waited 24 hours to even go get it checked
My dad
out.
is built different.
But, man, there's tough, and then there's just...
There's SmackDown, and then there's Papa SmackDown.
Yeah. That's where you get it from, huh?
That's where I get it from, and hopefully I'm half the shoes that he's filled in, so here soon.
Ernie.
Let's go to the phone lines and welcome in. We've had a lot of conversation on the text line today that this next guest played hooky today, that he just didn't feel like doing the show. I tend to disagree. Well, we'll just hear from the source. We got Phil joining us on the phone right now. Phil Elson.
Phil Elson, what say you?
Well, I mean, can you split the difference? Can you say both?
First it was electricity, then it was internet, then it was the cat, ate your computer.
Cat ate the computer login, or cat ate the microphone.
Well, she tries to bite the power cord all the time. Later, that's gonna take away like one of those 9 lives that she's got. But no, that's not why. I mean, we've had these rolling blackouts.
Yeah.
In the sliver of northwest Arkansas where I live, which knocked out all of Johnson, and that didn't actually last too long, like maybe an hour and a half. But the internet didn't come back with the electricity, so. It's been an adventurous day.
Did you try unplugging your router and plugging it back in?
No, I didn't do that one yet.
That's usually the first step when you call customer service. Sir, can you unplug it, wait 15 minutes, and then plug it back in?
That's true.
It's like I could have figured that out myself.
Watch. He'll do this after
and it fixes the whole problem.
Fix the whole problem, and he's back up and online and everything. Hey,
well, for a while there, when I wasn't sure if this was a rolling blackout or if this was just because of it being too cold and something was wrong with, some generator station nearby, I didn't know whether or not this would just be like an all-day thing, like I'm seeing some of my friends in Texas have been dealing with, where, I mean, there are people that are loading up the hotel. There's not a hotel room in sight to get right now in the DFW Metroplex from what I know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like I was going to start looking for hotel rooms or anything, but gosh, I mean, I guess I'm going to have to break out a book. Like a book? Are you serious? What are those?
Do you even have any books anymore?
Yeah, but they just collect dust. They're just for me to look at.
They're for background when you're on
something that I. Yeah, it's about reminiscing about something I never read about anyway.
My girlfriend's brother and sister-in-law live in Dallas, and they've been out of power for 30 hours now.
No kidding.
Yeah, at least they've got a fireplace, though.
Wow.
I asked about that. But, yeah, they're doing the same thing here. OG&E has been cycling. Didn't Tommy's power was off this morning? I think they're saying, up to 2 hours at a time.
Knock on wood, we've been fine here at the station, though.
Yeah, we do have a generator, though, too. But I don't think anything's.
Well, I would think ESPN Arkansas is essential, so they make sure that chunk of the River Valley.
They know better.
They know better than to cancel off halftime right in the middle.
Especially
of the
in the middle of a wrestling segment.
We're going to get on that in a second.
They better not do these rolling blackouts like during the basketball game tonight. Like,
no.
I'm fine with not being able to do the show today, whatever. But if I can't watch this basketball game tonight, I'm going to be pissed. So
I have a question about this rolling blackout. Now, the idea is that to conserve energy. But now, if they shut your power off and then your house is without heat for 2 hours, aren't you going to use twice as much energy to then get your house heated back up again?
Well, I thought you're not supposed to do that, during the when you leave anyway. Like, don't turn it all the way down because you're going to have to just bring it back up anyway. I don't.
But then if you lower it down to 65, then they shut your power off. How cold is your place going to get then if you've already been trying to conserve by not running it too? So
I was this close, Maddie, to taking all the stuff out of the freezer and just putting it outside.
It'd be better off put it on the patio.
Outdoor refrigerator that we're living in right now for that very purpose. Because if for some reason your power goes out for a lengthy period of time right now and your food spoils, that's on you for not taking advantage of the fact that it is that cold outside.
That's great advice, actually.
Phil, let's get into a couple things here real quick while we got you on. A couple things I know a lot of our listeners are going to want to hear your take on, and you brought it up a second ago. Arkansas, Florida tonight, 6 o'clock p.m., 5:30 airtime here on ESPN Arkansas. You mentioned in a rundown that you said that Florida's a very interesting team because they've got great wins against West Virginia and Tennessee, but then head-scratching losses like an 18-point loss to Kentucky. But the one thing that I know, this team can shoot, this team cannot rebound, so something has to give tonight for this Florida-Arkansas game.
I know. It's really interesting. Like, they have this, versions of their team that don't make sense. They lead the nation in blocks, but they're one of the worst rebounding teams in the SEC. They lead the SEC in three-point shooting percentage, but they also take closer to the fewest amount of threes in the SEC. So, but they can score a lot of points, man. I mean, when they win games, they get it into the 80s, they get it into the 90s. I think this is one of the teams that can keep up with Arkansas if that's the kind of game that it turns into. Usually, I would trust if Arkansas can get into the 80s that they're going to win. This team, Florida, they can play in the 80s too. But they've also, part of the other reason that they're so interesting, the Keontae Johnson story just continues to, pervade through. He's going to be here in Fayetteville tonight. Obviously, he's not playing. He's been taken out for the rest of the season. But he was the focal point of this team offensively and the energy and after they weren't able to play the first week of the season because of COVID and then 4 games into the season, the whole makeup of the team has to change and who their guy is. And so you really have to appreciate the sort of coaching job that Mike White's done to transform them into a team that's been without their best player all season long. So they've played like the second fewest games in the SEC because I think there's been a couple of COVID shutdowns for them and opponents early in the season. In fact, the first week of the year they didn't play, and now they're coming off another in like 2.5 weeks since they last played. Something tells me they're going to have energy tonight. Like, I know the thought is if you haven't played a couple of weeks, then you're going to be rusty. I think there's evidence both ways, and they have too many impressive wins, to take them lightly just because it's been a couple of weeks since they played.
All right. It's going to be interesting to see how this whole thing plays out, and I think I know I've brought it up on the show several times that can Arkansas get off to a hot start? And for the past 2 games, while they've started well, they haven't been taking early leads, but they've just been hanging around in both of these games and then hitting Kentucky and Missouri with a big run during the second half, a 10-0 run against Kentucky. I believe it was a 12-0 run or something other versus Missouri. I feel like this game, though, they have to get out to a quick start because I feel like this is going to be, like you said, getting into the high 80s where normally Arkansas wins may not be the winning scenario tonight. It sounds like this team needs to get off to a hot start, get going quick, and don't have any lapse in judgment early in the ball game.
I don't know, SmackDown. It's like we always say that no more slow starts, but that's kind of been the MO,
right?
of this team for most of the season. But that eventually comes back to bite you in the rear, against really good basketball teams. I wonder what the situation would have been like for Mizzou if they have a guy like Jeremiah Tillman and Arkansas starts slowly offensively like they did on Saturday. Mm-hmm. Look, it's a team that plays really well in the second half, Arkansas. They just are. There's something about like turning the key for this team that's been a little difficult to get the engine going early, and I can't put my finger on it. I don't think the coaching staff can either. Otherwise, that would have changed. So maybe a little consistency as far as who's getting the minutes early, but just seems to be you've got to find who's going to be one of those guys early. There's usually somebody that has been starting slow that you end up not seeing later on. Whether it's been a Desi Sills or whether it's been a J.D. Notte or Connor Vanover in a couple of instances too. So, it's just a matter, I think, of like finding what guy is off and who is on outside of Moses Moody, and kind of playing your cards from that vantage point. But unfortunately, it takes like 8, 9, 10 minutes to figure it out, and sooner or later that comes back to hurt you. Tonight could be one of those days.
Maybe that way. Phil, you good to hang with us through this commercial and get with us on the second segment?
Yeah, let's do it. We have, I got extra time now since there's no Arkansas baseball Friday night now.
Yep, we're going to talk about that when we come back. And I also want to pick your brain on our wrestling topic that we talked about, which we got a lot of feedback on, if I may say so myself. So Phil will be joining us here as we wrap up halftime coming up after this. Joe's Grill and Cantina, one of our other great sponsors for halftime. They're closed today because of the winter storm that's happening, but they should be back open once the roads get cleared up this weekend. So get out there for half-price apps and taps during the Arkansas Razorback game next Saturday. Get out there for their Sippin' Saturday brunch menu. This Saturday. Absolutely. They're taking care of you guys this week and make sure that their employees are stayed safe and all of everything about it where they're ready to go this weekend. That is Joe's Grill and Cantina. They're at 3400 South 74th Street in Fort Smith across from Harps. Let's wrap up halftime with us three coming up next.
Are you concerned about possible COVID exposure for you or your employees? Fort Smith has a new option for PCR COVID testing that is fast and accurate. Natural State Laboratories out of Little Rock has opened a PCR COVID drive-thru location in Fort Smith at Community Bible Church. PCR testing is the most sensitive, accurate test available, and results are available the next day. No appointment is necessary. Convenient COVID PCR drive-thru testing in Fort Smith is open 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Friday at Community Bible Church, located at 9201 Dallas Street.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Gelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Gelco
for hard work and the great outdoors.
Getting your ride ready for warmer weather? Come see the guys at Advanced Mechanical Performance. Whether it's a lift kit, service specials, accessories, or a complete makeover of your machine, Cody and the gang can get you hooked up and running for the upcoming season. Advanced Mechanical Performance works on all trucks, Jeeps, or UTVs, from diesel engine performance and repair to custom off-road fabrication. See the gang at 3201 Wheeler Avenue today. Advanced Mechanical Performance is what you should be striving for.
Start your Saturday mornings with a sipping Saturday brunch menu at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Every Saturday from 10 till 2. Joe's Grill and Cantina is serving a brunch menu with breakfast burritos, breakfast frittatas, and many of your brunch favorites. Get your Saturday morning pick-me-up with mimosas, screwdrivers, and other cocktail favorites. It's the Saturday morning sipping brunch menu at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Every Saturday morning from 10 till 2 at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps.
The B.F. Goodrich President's Day sale, because leaders never follow. Between February 12th and 19th, get a $70 or $50 reward card or virtual account after online submission with the purchase of 4 new select B.F. Goodrich passenger or light truck tires. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith today for quality B.F. Goodrich tires and the best-in-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin, B.F. Goodrich, and Southern Tire Mart. See bfgoodrichtires.com/promotion for complete details. Offer expires February 19, 2021. Void where prohibited.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using a Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
At Frank-Rowe Furniture for the month of February, Frank-Rowe Furniture is ready to deal on cash or finance sales. Just come on in and tell us you heard this ad on ESPN 95.3 and receive huge discounts. Frank-Rowe Furniture stands behind our furniture with service after the sale and carry as many made-in-the-USA brands as possible. We are family-owned and offer in-store no-credit check financing. Frank-Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hogs try to beat him back, though, on the run out. Moody with a dunk. After the layup by Likely, the Hogs threw over the defense. Moody slammed it home to tie the game at 71 with 4:35 to go.
The Morning Rush, halftime, Ruskin and Zach, the Hog Talk Podcast. Trusting the process, primetime preps, all available on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Built by Breeden RV Center. Family owned and operated, a no-pressure, laid-back atmosphere, and always home of the free maintenance for life. Just type Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
All right, you guys, podcast time.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and SmackDown.
Tying up our loose ends here on the final segment of halftime. I'm SmackDown. That's Matty T. We got our favorite person in the whole wide world, Phil Elson, joining us via the cellular telephone today because of internet issues. This is the only way he's able to join us today. Before we get into this wrestling chat that I want to do with you, Phil, with the other biggest news of the day, the Razorback Baseball Weekend Series down in Arlington, the State Farm Classic down in Arlington has been pushed back to Saturday, Sunday, Monday. As far as we know, and you may be able to provide more intel than we know, the game time shouldn't be changing, but this seemed like a decision that they just pretty much had to make if you're in Dallas, Texas this weekend.
Yeah, I don't think there was another option. Otherwise, just doing Saturday, Sunday, and doing 2 games instead of 3. Yeah, here's the thing. I think in some cases, because you have a Thursday series that starts the next week, you might be worried about pitching early in the season because guys aren't going to be on big pitch counts or anything like that. But man, this kind of just like gives them an opportunity maybe to see more pitchers early in the season. So as far as I know, same opponents, same order: Texas Tech, Texas, TCU, 7:00. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and we can say that we didn't get snowed out or iced out or colded out, thankfully, right. Which, of course, would be very, very 2021. Can I do a quick you don't have to push the button for it or anything because you got, a question you want to ask me about wrestling, but a quick get off my lawn.
Oh, of course, yes, by all means, yes,
just
absolutely.
Just a quick one here, just a quick one. And I'd never done this before. But I see people that are making snow cream, taking the snow from outside, mixing it with the usual ingredients for ice cream.
I don't think the snow could ever be clean enough to do that for me.
Yeah, I wouldn't be eating that, but I might give it a taste unless you hand me something that's yellow snow cream and say, here, try this. I'm going to say,
it's lemon flavored.
That ain't happening. Get off my lawn.
I love snow. Grandma would always make a lot of snow cream back home. So, I mean, I've got a close association to it.
I mean, just because it's not muddy doesn't mean that there's not like particles in the atmosphere, like pollution and stuff. And would you set a glass out, let it fill up with rain, and then drink it?
I would have never thought to do that unless I. Yeah, look, the other night when it was snowing, I walked across the street to the Dollar General and I bought ice cream, okay? Like, I guess I could have made it myself, but I actually bought the real thing because I guess I'm that lazy.
Now, I did walk around the other night with my mouth open, just going, like, catching snowflakes on my tongue. So
Same difference. And it snowed hard enough for you.
But I didn't add any sugar flavoring to it. No vanilla.
That's fantastic. All right. I wanted to get your thoughts on this because I know that you two give me a lot of hell for bringing up wrestling on the show, but you weren't on the show today, so I felt like I had only one person to get over, so it was Maddie. And I think Maddie T enjoyed it. So
I wish Phil would have been here to hear you pronounce Dom Perignon.
We'll talk about that tomorrow. That I mispronounced.
Oh, no. No, I can just take a guess on how you said it.
How do you think I said it?
Dom Perignon.
No,
ding.
No, I said Dom Perignon.
Paragon, okay.
Paragon.
Close, very close.
Okay, great.
So, yeah, y'all can make fun of me about that tomorrow. But apparently, Bow Wow, the rapper, from Like Mike, is apparently training to be a WWE superstar with Hall of Famer Rikishi, and then eventually he wants to team up with Rey Mysterio once Bow Wow gets signed by WWE. Are you cool with Bow Wow joining the wrestling ranks?
Do you have an opinion?
Yes. I mean, how long has it been since Like Mike came out?
Well, let's see. He's 30.
He's
33 years
now.
old now, so that's got to be 20 years
20
ago.
plus years at least. And the only reason I'm
Go for it, dude.
That's what I'm saying, because Snoop Dogg's done it. Rob Gronkowski did it. Pat McAfee did it. Former President Trump did it. He's a Hall of Famer because of it. Drew Carey, David Arquette, Mr. T. Let's give Bow Wow a chance.
You can bulk up and take the punishment, because I don't think it's as easy as people might think it is, because
Right.
it's quote unquote fake. Like if you can actually practice getting the snot kicked out of you in a way to where you really don't get the snot kicked out of you, then go for it, man. I don't see who would have a problem with that outside of his mom.
I agree.
And I guess we do prefer the term scripted as opposed to fake, right?
Right, correct.
SmackDown.
Yes, I agree. All right, then the
Because
last.
those guys, I mean, they really put their bodies through some heck, don't
Absolutely,
they? And
they
it's
do.
still real to me, dang it.
Absolutely. So we had some text messages come in, which was a very popular segment today. Let's see. Jesse texted in. He said he wanted to team up with Diamond Dallas Page or Sting. Donnie and Fayetteville said Jerry Lawler. Fisher and Charleston said Cactus Jack.
That's one of Mick Foley's characters.
One of Mick Foley's characters. And Matty T, you
Mick
said.
Foley's another guy that would be fun to hang out with.
You said Ultimate Warrior and Jake the Snake Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
Phil, if you were to team up with a WWE superstar, past, present, whatever, I don't care, who would you want to team up with and be a WWE superstar?
Hot Rod, Rowdy
That's a
Piper,
good one.
all the way, man. All the way. That's one of the few guys that was successful, truly successful, and you bought into him being a heel and a hero.
Mm-hmm.
That guy is, and he like, I know everybody loves how Ric Flair would get all fired up and red-faced and everything like that. I still thought Roddy Piper was just as entertaining, if not more so. I love that dude. He was, outside of Hulk Hogan, which is the easiest thing, of course, to say, Roddy Piper was my favorite.
That's a
of the
good
80s.
one. That's a real good
I'm a little
choice.
disappointed in myself that I didn't think of that.
That's a really good. That's old school right there. And I brought up Ric Flair, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Undertaker, John Cena. There's a lot of good choices with that. So, do I have permission?
Dude, Piper's Corner. I mean, if you were going to be like a true personality, and I don't know what it's like anymore. It's been so long since I got into wrestling. But if you were going to be one of the big wrestling personalities, you had to have your own talk show on script, like Piper's Corner was, man. That was so funny. He was the best.
That's awesome. So do I have permission, as we're wrapping up the show, do I have permission to talk about wrestling a little bit more on the show?
I've got a cure for your what ails you here, man.
Okay.
It's called the Hit That Line Podcast Network, built by Breeden RV.
That's a good one. That's a great option. I may think about doing this, a little wrestling podcast.
A weekly podcast?
Weekly wrestling podcast. See if I can get wrestling personalities on the show. Phil, stay safe. Hopefully we get that internet situation fixed up tomorrow. So Phil will be back with us. For Matty T, I'm SmackDown. That is Phil Elson. And as he always says, get up, get out, and get better.
Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith is now open for dine-in, curbside to go, and delivery for both lunch and dinner, 7 days a week. TGI Fridays